the court not in their favor, pointing to that aspect. There were illegalities, there were what the court observed as actions wide the constitution by the governor in office at that time. But Uddhav Thackeray cannot be restored back as chief minister since he resigned voluntarily, and that's why the government can't be brought back. Court recognizing that both the then Maharashtra Governor and the Speaker did not act in the appropriate manner as per the constitution or the laws prescribed. However, the decision to disqualify 16 MLAs lies with the Speaker. Larger question is, will this entire resign damage end the Aghadi? Because the NCP, Sharad Pawar, has very clearly blamed Uddhav Thackeray and told him, I was upset, and he's ready to return it in his autobiography also. I was upset that Uddhav took the decision without even speaking with his partners in the Aghadi. So what are the takeaways? Let's quickly have a look at that. The Supreme Court said that it cannot ordinarily adjudicate petitions for disqualification under the 10th schedule in the first instance, and the Speaker must decide disqualification petitions within a reasonable period. But they still did not stipulate the period. There are many who believe it should happen fast and not over a long period of time. There shouldn't be inordinate delay. Takeaway 2. Supreme Court also said that the MLAs have right to participate in the proceedings of the House regardless of the pendency of petty petitions for their disqualification. Now this again is quite a question mark, but they said you continue to dispose of your duties till the time the Speaker hears about the disqualification. The Supreme Court also said Speaker's decision to appoint Gogawale of the Shinde faction as the chief whip of the Shiv Sena party was illegal. Takeaway 4, Supreme Court says that the Election Commission of India must look into the other tests to decide on symbols and also who holds the name, which Uddhav Thackeray believes nobody can take the name. He says, I cannot take my name. Take the name away of the party. We can appropriate the symbol or give it away to somebody else, but not the name. Slamming the governor, the Supreme Court said it was not justified for the governor to call on Uddhav Thackeray to prove a floor test. There was no reason because it's not written on paper. The court said that that status quo ante cannot be ordered by restoring the MBA government in Maharashtra, as a former Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray did not face a floor test ahead of resignation. Further, the Supreme Court stated that the governor was justified in inviting Shiv Sena to form the government in the state of Maharashtra post the resignation of Uddhav Thackeray. Supreme Court wrapping Maharashtra Governor, the apex court said resolution relied on by the Maharashtra Governor didn't indicate MLAs wanted to withdraw support. It had no material to call for the floor test, and that the governor can't use floor test to settle inter and intra-party disputes. The Supreme Court observed that the governor erred in relying on resolution of faction of MLAs of Shiv Sena to conclude that Uddhav Thackeray had lost the majority. Slamming the governor, India's top court said the exercise of discretion by the Maharashtra Governor was not in accordance with the Constitution of India. Massive war of words thereafter erupted. Soon after, the Shinde government was formed with the governments with the rivals illegally, is what Uddhav Thackeray said. Shinde's counter was that the Supreme Court verdict proves the government is legitimate. Uddhav Thackeray's charge was the whip appointed by the Shinde faction was illegal. But the counter that came is Uddhav Thackeray resigned as he did not have majority. Uddhav Thackeray's charge is Shinde should resign on moral grounds. So should Devendra Fadnavis. But Uddhav Thackeray and the Shinde counter is that Uddhav can't preach us on morality, because where is the morality when you quit the Gathbandhan and joined the Aghadi just because you wanted to be chief minister? So where is morality? Don't teach us morals and morality. Uddhav Thackeray's charge, democracy being murdered in India. Shinde's counter, it's a victory of democracy after the Supreme Court's verdict. Let's go across to our guest joining us this evening, former Maharashtra Chief Minister, very senior Congress leader Prithviraj Chavanji joins us. Namaste, sir. This is Anand Narsimhan. Good to speak with you. 2 days on the 2 days on the run.
Yeah.
But today, what's happened in court and what has happened thereafter? How would you see these developments, sir?
Well, it's a very, very unfortunate development. The Supreme Court rightly has passed very, very nasty strictures against the governor, the speaker and the election commission. But unfortunately, the wrong decision, unconstitutional decision by the governor to call for a floor test when the option of a no confidence motion was available to the opposition was blatantly illegal, unconstitutional. But the impact was Mr. Uddhav Thackeray resigned. There was a vacancy and a new chief minister was sworn in. First you hang a man and then you say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Now you cannot revive that thing. It's a very unfortunate murder of democracy. all the constitutional institutions, the election commission, in deciding that the Shiv Sena belonged to Shinde group, erred because they did not look at the organizational side of the thing. They only decided on the legislative and the parliamentary majority, which was wrong according to the Honorable Supreme Court. Secondly, Governor was blatantly wrong in ordering a floor test. Thirdly, the Speaker also erred in the 3rd July order. So everybody, all constitutional functionaries made a mistake, but the sufferer was the Maha Vikas Aghadi government. Sufferer was Uddhav Thackeray. Now, once he resigned, a new Chief Minister had to be sworn in. That was all right because you couldn't have a vacancy in the post of Chief Minister. But now what to do? Supreme Court even went to the extent of saying if Mr Uddhav Thackeray had not resigned, we could have considered restoring status quo ante, which means blatantly and prima facie the decision of the governor was wrong. It was unjust decision, unconstitutional decision. It caused a great hurt to the Maha Vikas Aghadi, but the act having been done, now it cannot be revived.
Kahin na kahin,
you hang a person and then say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake.
But that can be also asked of Mr Uddhav Thackeray. NCP Congress se pooch liya hota. Had you asked, then it would have stopped. Sharad Pawar ji has actually mentioned this in his autobiography also. That why didn't he ask us? He should have asked us.
I had given an interview. I had given an interview to one of the Marathi channels. Within half an hour of Mr Thackeray's social media oration that he's resigning. I was shocked. Everybody was shocked. He did not consult anybody. There was a cabinet meeting about half an hour before his social media address, resignation speech. He did not mention anything to any one of us. So we are all shocked. So I immediately reacted that this is a great mistake. He shouldn't have done it. He should have faced the floor test, and if we have defeated there, so be it. But this is exactly what the Supreme Court has reiterated, that if Mr Uddhav Thackeray had not resigned that day, we could have considered restoring status quo ante. Which means Supreme Court is agreeing that what happened was completely unconstitutional. They are willing to restore Mr Uddhav Thackeray to Chief Minister's position, but now he had resigned and a new Chief Minister has sworn in.
But does that SAR equations?
The fine print.
Does that SAR equations within the Aghadi? Does that SAR equations within the Aghadi?
No, not at all.
Does that
not at all.
compel you to think, Congress to rethink and NCP to rethink whether they want to continue with the...
Not at all. Not at all. We are firmly with Mr Uddhav Thackeray. Maha Vikas Aghadi is firmly together. It was an error of judgment. He should have acted in haste. But that has happened now. But the fact is, if you read the Supreme Court judgment, they have faulted every constitutional authority from the governor to the speaker to the election commission. So what does it speak of? What kind of a democracy are we running?
No, but let me ask you this, Prithviraj Chavanji. I remember that interview because I saw clips of that in where you were speaking in Marathi and said what you have done, what he is doing is wrong. But didn't somebody call Mr Uddhav Thackeray and said, you made the announcement but don't write it. Change your decision. Mat karo aisa.
Well, after having publicly on social media saying that I am resigning, वो रुकना मुश्किल था. But let me tell you, after he resigned, we all of us, particularly Congress group of about 10-15 MLAs, all our leaders, we went to Matoshri to sort of console him. So it doesn't matter, this has happened, we are all with you. But he had also said in that speech that he was also resigning as a member of the Legislative Council. And I immediately advised him not to go ahead with that decision because it was only an announcement on television. But please don't do it because in the Legislative Council, the numerical superiority, the numbers, the majority, the who will become the chairperson of the council, all those things are important. So he listened to us and he did not resign from the council. He still is a member of the Maharashtra Legislative Council. But Chief Minister's decision about resigning as the Chief Minister, he spoke on the social media, on the Facebook, and immediately went to the governor's office. We did not have time to stop him.
So now what happens next, sir? What happens next? Do you believe Uddhav Thackeray has called...
The legal battle will continue.
How does the legal battle continue once the court says it is up to the speaker and it is up to the election commission?
The legal battle will continue because the matter of No, matter of disqualification of 16 MLAs now goes back to the Speaker. Now, Speaker will have to adjudicate within the framework of the Constitution. He cannot take a blatantly illegal or a partisan decision. If he takes that decision, we can go to court again. So this battle will go on. The Honorable Speaker will have to take a decision within the framework of the Constitution. And that matter is not yet settled. So the disqualification of 16 MLAs who are prima facie violated the 10th schedule of the Constitution, the anti-defection law, that has to be adjudicated. The Supreme Court said that we cannot do it, we do not have the power. The power remains with the Speaker of the Vidhan Sabha. So Speaker of the Vidhan Sabha will decide. Now, Supreme Court has said within a reasonable time frame. Now, what that reasonable time frame is, we don't know. Does it mean 15 days? Does it mean 1 month? Does it mean 6 months? Does it mean 1 year till the end of the term?
Yes.
So I think somebody will have to go and find out what that reasonable time frame is.
But is it actually worth fighting that legal battle, or should the focus be on taking it to the people, as Uddhav Thackeray also hinted, saying, I want to go back to the people. You got the BMC elections, we don't know when it will happen, but it may happen. Then, like you said, with it, by the end of the year, you are staring at, again, going back to the people for assembly elections.
Well, assembly election is a little later, is in October normally. Lok Sabha election happens in May. But of course, going to the people and telling what has happened will continue. But the legal team will fight the legal battle. I mean, that will not stop. It is not either or situation. The legal battle will go on, we'll examine the judgment, we'll take legal advice, we'll take what are the recourse available to us. The Supreme Court judgment is so clear about unconstitutionality by all the constitutional functionaries, the Speaker, the Governor, the Election Commission of India. What does it speak about Indian democracy?
Well, we'll have to see, because the court has said wo resignation nahi hota to hum kuch kar sakte the. Now that you have resigned, we can't do anything. So should we resign to that fate, or?
Yeah, but the fact is, the fact is what the court said. You just look at the other side of the coin. He said, if you are not resigned, we could have restored you. Now, you could restore anybody unless a blatantly unconstitutional action has been taken place. So, court has said indirectly that yes, what happened was completely unconstitutional, it was wrong, we could have given you redressal, but unfortunately you resigned and a new Chief Minister was sworn in. Which means the Supreme Court has said that what happened was unconstitutional, wrong, unjust.
Well, they have said that, but right now it is, they continue to remain in power and they continue to muscle on 10, 11 months after that
unfortunate thing.
That change has happened. I thank you for your time. Always a pleasure speaking with you. But you're saying that the drama will continue, because we'll see it's now into the court of the Speaker and what happens with disqualification, and you say that the legal battle will continue.
Yes, of course, it will continue. I mean, we'll continue to seek justice.
And that
we will continue to seek justice.
And there is no break in the Aghadi.
Constitutional.
There is no split in the Aghadi. The Congress
no, that is out of the question. No, Aghadi remains even more steadfast. We are all together, we'll fight together, and we'll defeat this Sena, defeat this Shinde and Fadnavis government. That is why they are not even, they are not holding the local bodies election. They are overdue for more than a year.
BMC elections.
They dare not hold elections because they know they'll be wiped out in the elections.
We'd see, sir. We'd see. One may just hear the announcement very soon. Perhaps everybody was waiting for this verdict before they take a step forward. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, sir. Prithviraj Chavan.
Yes. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's quickly go across to Vikas Singh ji, the former ASG and president of the SCBA, joining us right now on the legal aspect. Vikas Singh ji, namaste. Jai Hind. Thank you very much for joining us here at CNN News 18 on the right stand. How would you interpret today's decision of the Supreme Court, especially the scathing observations made?
So basically, the 10th schedule really has become a joke now. So there is no purpose of keeping the 10th schedule as it is. And I personally feel that the only way the sanctity of the 10th schedule can be maintained is if we let the Speaker decide on disqualification in a summary manner. So like in a day or two, he should decide the disqualification, because if that disqualification happens, and if that happened and that had happened in this case, then this problem would not have arisen. But again, if you see, this is some kind of poetic justice, because Shiv Sena had fought this election in a combination with BJP, and then suddenly at the end, ideally its votes were part of BJP votes as well.
Yes.
And in fact, it was not justified for it to, have a split from BJP and made a government with the NCP and the Congress. So, in some sense, it is poetic justice in this case. But otherwise, overall, I have a huge difference of opinion with another judgment of the Supreme Court, which says that a person who defects or even suffers a disqualification can come back in the same house if the same seat is put for election again. So that, according to me, is not a correct interpretation of the 10th schedule, because once you are disqualified, you should be disqualified at least for the term of the house in which you got elected. So if that house is balanced term is say 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, whatever be the balanced term, this disqualification should continue. And if that judgment is not set at naught, the earlier Supreme Court judgment, I think really not much, teeth will remain in the laws with regard to disqualification under the 10th schedule.
But Vikas Singh ji, some of the other observations also in terms of the whip being declared illegal, with the court saying party decides the whip and not the leader of the legislative party inside the house.
So I think, of course, that's the right way forward, because otherwise, if the MLAs are sort of combining to, support somebody else, then obviously they will control the affairs of the party in that sense. But really, they are not really the party. The party is the party which, gave them the tickets. The party is the one which decided who should contest from where. So I think this is also a very correct decision by the Supreme Court, that it's the party alone which should decide on the whip and not the chief of the legislature party. Because if the chief of the legislature party suddenly decides to defect, then the whole anti-defection law will go for a toss. So the party should always mean the party, political party, and he may not be in the assembly at all. The person controlling that may not be in the assembly at all, and that decision should be final as far as the whip is concerned. So I think that's a very good decision in this case. But the real rub will be if the speaker can decide the disqualification in a couple of days. And if that permission is not given or allowed for the speaker to go ahead, and if someone technicalities, and if a long drawn hearing is to be given before a disqualification is to be passed, then the whole purpose of this 10th schedule will be defeated. So the speaker should have some kind of a summary jurisdiction. If you don't attend the party's meeting, even after a call by the party, political party, and if you disobey the whip, the speaker should be able to disqualify you on that ground alone. And only a proper medical certificate or, hospitalized or something very, very serious of that kind should be a ground for you to justify your non-presence. And in case of voting, of course, even that will not suffice. So obviously, if that decision is immediate, this anti-defection law will have teeth. So a decision should be immediate.
Right.
And number two, once a person gets disqualified, should not be allowed to enter the same
Yes, you
house.
made that point, Vikas Singh ji. I just want to understand, another aspect is the comments made on the governor, and that his actions are wide the constitution.
So in a sense, I totally agree with the concept that the governor should be impartial. So if you see the original constitution and the way a constitutional position has been created of a governor or of the president of India, they are supposed to be above party. They are not supposed to act as the representative of a political party which appointed them. Once you get appointed to the post of the governor, you should be above the politics of the state, and you are expected to be a statesman. And unfortunately, the way the governors are appointed and the way they are removed and the way they act has actually eroded the confidence that the people should have in the office of the governor, and the governor has become party to the party politics, and which is very unfortunate. And I think the comments of the Supreme Court are very, very necessary to ensure that firstly that a proper person is appointed as a governor. invariably it should not be a political person. And secondly, the governor, once appointed, even if of a political party, should shed his political color and act independently.
Point well made.
To hold the high constitutional, standards that is supposed to be maintained by the governor under the
very fair point made, Vikas Singh ji. Thank you very, very much. Quickly going across to Sudhir Mungantiwar ji, the Minister of Forests in the Maharashtra government currently. Sudhir Mungantiwar ji, नमस्ते, जय हिंद।
नमस्कार, वंदे मातरम।
वंदे मातरम सर, मैं आनंद नरसिम्हन बोल रहा हूँ। मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूँ आज के फैसले को आप कैसे देखते हैं? हाउ डू यू सी?
देखो ये फैसला जो है
जी,
वो तो बड़ा नैसर्गिक रूप से आया है, क्योंकि जिस विषय को लेकर बार बार ये अटकलें लगाई जा रही थी
जी,
कि सरकार जाएगी, अपात्र किए जाएंगे सदस्य, तो ये बात तो सही थी कि अगर 100 वकील खड़े हो गए कि सूरज पश्चिम से सूर्योदय होता है और एक वकील पूर्व से होता है ऐसा कहेगा, तो मुझे लगता है कितने वकील कहाँ से खड़े हैं इसके आधार पे निर्णय नहीं किया जा सकता। यहाँ पे 16 जो विधायक है वो विधायक पार्टी मीटिंग में नहीं आए, तो पहली बात तो व्हीप पार्टी मीटिंग में लगता ही नहीं। दूसरा विषय ऐसा था कि सदस्य को अपात्र या पात्र करने का अधिकार, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट बहुत ही असाधारण परिस्थिति में इसका उपयोग कर सकती है। साधारण परिस्थिति में विधानसभा के जो अध्यक्ष है उनको ही अधिकार रहेगा, और इस कारण पात्र अपात्र सदस्यत्व को रद्द करना, ये बातें, ये कुछ लोग ये सोचते थे कि हम इनको अपात्र करके हम फिर से सत्ता में बैठ जाएंगे, मगर ये बात सही थी ना। उनको जनादेश था, जनता ने उनको चुन के भी नहीं दिया था। कांग्रेस राष्ट्रवादी तो 100 के अंदर नजदीक पास आई थी, और शिवसेना भारतीय जनता पार्टी 161 विधानसभा के साथ में जनता की सेवा के लिए जनादेश प्राप्त करके इस 5 वर्ष के सेवा और सरकार चलाने की
जी, तो ये नैतिकता का हवाला उद्धव ठाकरे जी नहीं दे सकते, ये आप कह रहे हैं सुधीर जी, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा कि गवर्नर ने भी संविधान का मान नहीं रखा, संविधान के विपरीत उन्होंने फैसले लिए।
देखो, इस विषय में अगर आप संविधान पढ़ोगे तो संविधान में बड़ी स्पष्ट ऐसे राज्यपाल और राष्ट्रपति महोदय को अधिकार है। अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कोई ऑब्जर्वेशन किए होंगे, और वो भी मेरे ख्याल से 5 जज की बेंच थी, तो इस ऑब्जर्वेशन पे संसद चर्चा करे। पर संविधान ने बड़े स्पष्ट रूप से महामहिम राज्यपाल महोदय को ये अधिकार दिए हैं, जैसे हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज को कुछ अधिकार देते हैं, ये उनके विशेष अधिकार होते हैं, प्रिविलेज होते हैं। तो महामहिम राज्यपाल महोदय को भी वो कोई सुप्रीम कोर्ट कहेंगे वैसा ही आचरण करेंगे, तो फिर राज्यपाल और उनके अधिकारों पे ये तो अतिक्रमण हो जाएगा। और बड़े स्पष्ट रूप में संविधान ने ये कहा है कि राज्यपाल महोदय को संविधान ये अधिकार देता है कि वो अपनी कोई भी सद्विवेक बुद्धि से कृति कर सकते हैं। आज भी राज्यपाल महोदय कैसा आचरण करे इसकी कोई नियमावली करके रखी नहीं गई है। और ये हमने स्वाधीनता प्राप्त करने के बाद जब 26 जनवरी 1950 में संविधान दिया, तब से ये चलते आया है। ठीक है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशन अगर किए होंगे तो इस विषय में चर्चा हो, राष्ट्रव्यापी चर्चा हो, राज्यपाल उस पद के बारे में चर्चा हो, उनके कार्यों के बारे में चर्चा हो, उनके अधिकारों के बारे में चर्चा हो, उनके अधिकारों को सीमित करने के बारे में चर्चा हो, इस विषय में कोई आक्षेप नहीं है। मगर संविधान ने राज्यपाल महोदय और राष्ट्रपति महोदय इनको विशेष अधिकार दिए हैं, जिस आधार पर सद्विवेक बुद्धि के आधार पर वो निर्णय कर सकते हैं।
कोर्ट का ये कहना है कि शायद वो अधिकारों का
विद्यार्थी करके मुझे जानकारी है।
जी, मैं जानता हूं, इसीलिए मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं सुधीर जी कि आप कानून पढ़ चुके हैं, इसीलिए मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूं कि कोर्ट ने कहा कि जो अधिकार उन्हें दिए गए हैं उन अधिकारों का भी हनन है, और उन अधिकारों के विपरीत भगत सिंह कोश्यारी जी ने कंडक्ट किया है, जिसकी वजह से वो परिस्थितियां पैदा हुई।
देखो, मुझे पता नहीं भगत सिंह कोश्यारी जी का कोई वकील खड़े थे या भगत सिंह कोश्यारी जी ने उनका केस लड़ा है। अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट को इस विषय में उन्होंने आक्षेप लिए है तो जैसा मैंने कहा संसद पे चर्चा होगी। राज्यपाल महोदय को संविधान ने अधिकार दिए हैं और संविधान के अधिकार के चौकट में ही उन्होंने निर्णय किए हैं। अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट को लगता है कि उन्होंने जो निर्णय किए हैं तो वो चौकट में नहीं है तो संसद चर्चा करे। मगर मुझे ये 100% पता है कि राष्ट्रपति महोदय, इसीलिए हम महामहिम राज्यपाल महामहिम राष्ट्रपति कहते हैं कि इनको पूरे के पूरे अधिकार, विशेष अधिकार है कि सद्विवेक बुद्धि से वो कोई भी कृति और एक्शन कर सकते हैं।
एक प्रश्न है कि अभी 5 मिनट पहले पृथ्वीराज चौहान जी से मेरी बात हो रही थी, वो पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री हैं, कांग्रेस के वरिष्ठ नेता हैं। उनका कहना है कि ये लीगल बैटल अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ, डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन पर जब निर्णय आएगा स्पीकर का तो हम ये लड़ाई लड़ेंगे। तो ये लीगल पेज अभी खत्म नहीं होते दिख रहे हैं, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
नहीं, वो तो लड़ाई लड़ेंगे क्योंकि जनता की अदालत ने उनके केस को, उनके पार्टी को रिजेक्ट कर दिया है। 14 से उनके पार्टी को रिजेक्ट कर दिया है, देश में भी रिजेक्ट किया। ना 10% सांसद ला सकते हैं विधानसभा में। जो पार्टी जब 1 मई 1960 में महाराष्ट्र में पहली बार महाराष्ट्र राज्य निर्माण हुआ तब उनके 213 विधानसभा विधायक थे, वो 44 पे आ गए। उनसे राष्ट्रवादी आगे गई, शिवसेना आगे गई। तो ये बात तो उनकी सही है कि वो जनता के दरबार में, जनता की अदालत में तो चुनाव जीतना उनके लिए नामुमकिन और मुश्किल होते जा रहा है। तो कानून के चक्कर में ही वो चाहते हैं कि हम और आगे जाए, तो जाए वो कानून के चक्कर में, कोई चिंता की बात नहीं है।
अच्छा देखिए, अभी अक्टूबर नवंबर में महाराष्ट्र के चुनाव में समय है, अगले साल 24 में, लेकिन अभी बीएमसी के जो चुनाव हैं वो तो 1 साल से टले हैं। तो आपको लगता है कि अब वो उसकी तिथि कभी ना कभी आ जाएगी?
वो तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट तय करने वाली है, तिथि की बात नहीं। हम तो चाहते हैं कि ये महीने में चुनाव हो जाए, हम तो पूरे बातों के लिए तैयार है। माननीय एकनाथ शिंदे जी के नेतृत्व में और देवेंद्र जी के मार्गदर्शन में महाराष्ट्र में हम कोई भी चुनाव हो, हम तैयार है, कोई अड़चन का विषय नहीं है। मगर अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट को ये चुनाव के बारे में, ओबीसी राजनीतिक आरक्षण के बारे में निर्णय करना है।
अंतिम मैं आपसे प्रश्न एक ही पूछूंगा, चुनाव आयोग को कहा गया है कि वो भी फैसला ले लें सिंबल पर, नाम पर, जो भी उनके अधीन है, उधर क्या लगता है?
देखो भैया की बात तो सीधी है। हमारे देश में संविधान ने कई संस्थाओं को स्वायत्तता दी है। वो स्वायत्तता देते समय केंद्रीकरण ना हो, बैलेंस हो, इसलिए संसद को कुछ अधिकार है। मगर उस अधिकारों का अगर उपयोग करते समय कोई समस्याएं निर्माण होती है तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट उसके बारे में भी इंटरप्रिटेशन कर सकती है, मार्गदर्शन कर सकती है। हमने शाहबानो के केस में देखा था कि शाहबानो के केस में जब तब की कांग्रेस की सरकार ने गलतियां की तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उस विषय में कुछ बातें बड़े स्पष्ट रूप से कही है। तो देखो, ये चेक एंड बैलेंस की बातें हैं। तो इस विषय में मुझे लगता है कि चुनाव आयोग ये भी स्वायत्त है, ऑटोनोमस है। तो वो चुनाव आयोग निर्णय करे। अगर हर बात में हमने स्वायत्तता को रोक दिया तो मुझे लगता है फिर चुनाव आयोग भी क्यों चाहिए? वो तो राष्ट्रपति निर्णय कर सकते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री निर्णय कर सकते हैं, पर ऐसा नहीं होता। आपको भी पता है 12 जून 1975 में वो हाईकोर्ट थी जिन्होंने प्राइम मिनिस्टर को अपात्र करने की बात की।
थोड़ा रिलीफ तो,
प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी हाईकोर्ट को
रिलीफ तो दिख रहा है कि महाराष्ट्र के कई सरकार के कई सारे नेता, देवेंद्र फडणवीस को भी इतना खुल के हंसते हुए हमने बहुत दिन से नहीं देखा, एकनाथ शिंदे जी को हंसते नहीं देखा, आपको इतना हंसते नहीं देखा। यानी काफी कुछ टेंशन जो है आंतरिक वो भी थोड़ा संपन्न हुआ है।
भाई साहब, ये एकदम मिथ्या बातें हैं। कल मैं देवेंद्र जी, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के साथ मैं खुद लातूर हम गए थे जी। हम तो हंसते रहते भाई। सत्ता का हमें कोई मोह नहीं है, सत्य के बारे में हम काम करते हैं। सत्ता का कहाँ मोह है? सत्ता के लिए काम करने वाली ना हमारी पार्टी है ना जनरेशन है। हम सत्ता के लिए काम नहीं करते। हमारा हमेशा यही हमको सिखाया गया पार्टी के नेताओं के कि पथ का अंतिम लक्ष्य नहीं है सिंहासन पर चढ़ते जाना, सब समाज को साथ लिए हमको है आगे बढ़ना। भारतीय जनता पार्टी ये एक परिवार है, बाकी पार्टियां परिवार की है। वो इंदिरा इज इंडिया कहते हैं, इंडिया इज इंदिरा कहते हैं। वो तो अपनी एक मालकियत चाहते हैं, अपने परिवार से बाहर जाना नहीं चाहते।
देखिए,
बहुत पत्थर रख के अभी वो राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस का अध्यक्ष किसी अलग को बनाया। जब कांग्रेस की विभाजन हुआ तब भी उन्होंने कांग्रेस, इंदिरा कांग्रेस नाम रखा। देखो, ये मालकियत वाली 7/12 लेकर काम करने वाली पार्टी है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी यानी जनता के साथ बहुत ज्यादा प्यार भारत के जनता की पार्टी, भारत के जनता की प्रगति
मैं
ये
बस
सोच
इतना
के काम
कहूंगा
करने वाली पार्टी है। चेहरे पे हमारी सत्ता, हाई कोर्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट, इसका दबाव हम पे कभी नहीं रहा।
जी सुधीर मुनगंटीवार जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। भारतीय जनता पार्टी पर जनता का भरोसा है कि नहीं, कर्नाटक में भी देखने को मिलेगा शनिवार को। तब तक के लिए महाराष्ट्र में जो हुआ उसके लिए शुभेच्छा, आपके लिए तो अच्छा हुआ। अब जनता के लिए आप अच्छा करते हैं कि नहीं वो देखा जाएगा। धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत
नमस्ते। नमस्ते।
बहुत
Let's get a move on, ladies and gentlemen. Plenty happening in the neighborhood in Pakistan. 48 hours after he was arrested, Imran Khan has now been sent into police custody. Former Pak Prime Minister Imran Khan, who was arrested in the Al-Qadr Trust case, will be in Supreme Court custody in police lines in Islamabad. The Pak Supreme Court has said Imran's arrest was illegal. Imran Khan in court appealed to maintain peace. He said he doesn't want any loss in the country, nor does he wish for people to get incited. All that he's asking is free and fair elections. Imran has also told the court that his mobile phone was taken away and he was unaware about what was happening across the country. The PTI chief requested the Pakistan Chief Justice to send him home, but the top judge said, no, you're going to be in custody of the Supreme Court. You will remain in police lines at peace in the guest house. You'll be allowed to meet 10 members, including members of family and also your lawyers, but you have to present yourself at the Islamabad High Court around 11:30 a.m. on Friday morning to hear this entire matter, and whatever the court decides, you will have to agree to that. So, the larger question is the opposition being silenced? Imran Khan, the PTI chief and former Pak Prime Minister in police guest house in Islamabad, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, the PTI Vice President and former Pak Foreign Minister, he is under arrest. Fawad Chaudhry, former Pak Minister, is under arrest. Asad Umar, PTI Secretary General, arrested. Jamshed Iqbal Shima, Pak Minister and PTI leader, arrested. Falak Naz Chitrali, PTI leader, arrested. Musarrat Jamshed Chima, PTI leader, arrested. Malika Bukhari, Ijaz Chaudhry, PTI Senator, Ali Mohammad Khan, former Pak Federal Minister, all of them arrested. So is it trying to just incarcerate all leadership voices within the PTI to diffuse the political party and its movement altogether? We've got army deployed in Islamabad, in Sindh, in Punjab, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and also in large parts of Balochistan. Now our investigations editor Manoj Gupta getting us this information that amid all the anarchy, Pakistan's IMF deal may be affected. Pakistan is edging closer to a default as political unrest sparked by the arrest of former Prime Minister Imran Khan is set to delay an International Monetary Fund bailout. The unrest in Pakistan comes as the government negotiates with the IMF to restart the $6.5 billion bailout program, which it needs to avoid a default. Columbia Threadneedle Investments had said it makes increasingly difficult for Pakistan to avoid a default in the absence of fresh funding support coming. According to the Columbia Threadneedle, the external debt service is estimated at about $22 billion for the fiscal year 2024. Dollar bonds due in 2031 fell to the lowest since November on Wednesday, trading at 33.85 cents on the dollar. The extra yield investors demanding to hold Pakistan's dollar bonds over US treasuries has risen above 34 percentage points. So that's a huge issue that is happening at this point. The dollar bonds fell due 2031, fell since November on Thursday, trading at 33.85. I told you the deteriorating political situation in the country playing on the mind of the investors as the Pak rupee declined to a record low of 291.93 against the US dollar during the early hours of trading in the interbank market. Now, Moody's Investor Service said Pakistan could default without an IMF loan bailout as the financing options beyond June are uncertain. Well, just before we came live on the Right Stand, ladies and gentlemen, I was on the phone with very close aide of Imran Khan, Dr. Salman Ahmed, who said that Imran Khan was ill-treated by the Pak Rangers. He also said that the entire arrest drama has been scripted by 3 people, including Shehbaz Sharif, and that Imran Khan has never evaded the law. There are some other startling details that Mr. Ahmed revealed, Dr. Ahmed revealed. Listen into this conversation.
My first question to you, Salmanji, is how do you see the Supreme Court's ruling today?
Well, Anand, in the history of Pakistan, the last 75 years, the Supreme Court has always surrendered to the powerful establishment forces, and it has never stood up for the rule of law. It's always been a handmaiden to the elite capture of Pakistan. But today, I have to say that the Supreme Court Chief Justice Bandial and his brother judges made a historic decision to uphold the rule of law, to defend the Constitution of Pakistan, and they, by declaring Imran Khan's kidnapping and torture and destruction of the court premises of the Islamabad High Court, declaring it illegal, has completely shocked and surprised everyone.
Let me ask you, Dr. Salman Ahmed, what happens next and how is Imran Khan? Is he in police lines already?
So I have been in touch, with Imran Khan through intermediaries, and they informed me that while first of all, as you know, that he was shot at November 3rd. He had 3 bullets in his right leg. It fractured his tibia, the right shin bone, and also damaged his nerve in his foot. So he was in recovery mode, in great pain. But even then, when all of those paramilitary rangers who broke into the court premises at the Islamabad High Court, they dragged him, they beat him, they tortured him as if he was a terrorist, not a former prime minister. And in the last 3 days, they have hardly given him any rest. They've kept him awake the way you would keep a terrorist. The food that they gave him, he's informed me, Mr. Imran Khan informed me, that the food has had some elements in it which made him sick. So it's a miracle that today the Supreme Court has declared his captivity and his detention illegal, and that he's able to come out. The first thing he has said is that all the people of Pakistan should protest peacefully, not to take the law into their own hands.
But this is also not full relief, because the court says he'll continue to remain in the court's custody and he has to present himself at around 11:30 tomorrow morning at the Islamabad High Court.
Absolutely. It's a momentary moment. It's a momentary victory, and the moment is still fraught with grave danger. But the fact that the Supreme Court, it's the highest court in the land, the Chief Justice and the 2 brother justices have gone completely against history. That has to be registered.
Well, so that was Dr. Salman Ahmed saying that it's never happened that the courts have taken such a position, and that too against the establishment. Sushant Sareem, Senior Fellow ORF with us, and Major Yasir Janjua, Security Analyst, also with us. Namaste. Thank you for speaking with us, and thank you for your time, gentlemen. Major Yasir Janjua, how do you see the situation panning out in Pakistan? There is financial crisis. IMF bailouts is a big question. There is huge pressure on the army to act, the current government to act, and of course there's anarchy on the streets because of Imran Khan supporters. I can't hear you, Major. Are you on mute? Could you please unmute yourself? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, I absolutely agree with you, Anand. There is obviously chaos on the streets in Pakistan because Imran Khan is a very famous leader. This government, unfortunately, they axed their own feet last year. When Imran Khan's government was thrown, had they waited a few more months, Imran Khan was going to probably die his own death in terms of popularity, because he was at the lowest ebb of the popularity back then. But these people thought that probably this is the only chance they have, so they threw him out. And there was reasons, because they wanted their cases to be removed, and they have done that in the last 1 year, you know it. So now, as of now, Imran Khan is probably at the highest levels of his popularity, or popularity for any leader in Pakistan since the independence. So with that, having said that, what you see now on the streets is people of Pakistan showing their solidarity towards Imran Khan. And the carnage or whatever has happened, I'm not going to sit here and defend PTI or what has happened. There are miscreants inside those groups, those who wanted this to happen so that PTI could be banned and Imran Khan could be disqualified for life. Going over to your question about the IMF bail package or IMF package, honestly speaking, even if I was the managing director of IMF, I would refuse Pakistan this kind of money in what's going on in the country. So the political government right now, what they want to do is just extend their tenure and extend their government at any cost. There have been talks about an emergency. Yesterday in the cabinet meeting, the cabinet members have been discussing imposition of the emergency, which means there'll be no elections, no matter what happens, not even in October. This is exactly what they wanted. They wanted to stretch their tenure, their government, and no matter what, they wanted to do it. And the architects of this are Rana Sanaullah, the Interior Minister of Pakistan, and Shehbaz Sharif and his goons. Unfortunately, this is not in the interest of Pakistan and the Pakistani public. You also see that the public sentiment is speaking. For the last 1 year, people have been out on the roads. Last Saturday only, on one call of Imran Khan, the entire country was out. People were out on the roads to protest. So that means he is a popular leader right now. And this is the will of people. You can't just ignore it. The Supreme Court has given an order for 14th of May elections in Punjab. Now, they knew it that if the elections in Punjab are held, they will face a lot of trouble in the general elections because there will be a sitting government in Punjab. Although we say, now I ask you this question, in India also, elections are not held on one day. There are elections in stages. So it is something that happens all over the world in democracies.
Right.
However, these people, they knew it that if they even
there are a lot of political scenarios that you're outlining, Major Janjua, but in this case, Sushant Sareen, what also stands out is the courts. The courts, the judiciary, they are all split. They are either for Imran or against Imran, and they're openly taking positions. Now, quite surprising what has happened in the Supreme Court today. That's what Dr. Salman Ahmed said. How would you read the situation? I saw your tweet earlier in the day which you said that, the best of the scriptwriters can't write a thriller as we are watching in Pakistan unfold, But that aside, how do you see things panning out?
Anand, let's not talk about Pakistani judiciary. It's a joke, right? I tweeted something else also. Mother-in-law won and Pakistan army lost today. Because apparently the Chief Justice is deeply influenced by his mother-in-law, his daughter-in-law and his daughters. Which is good actually, because that means he's not a sexist. But that's not the basis on which you pass judgments. And the Pakistani judiciary has been a scandal ever since it's come into existence, right from day one. But when it comes to big political questions, they've always taken one side or the other. And not on the basis of any law, not on the basis of the constitution. Like this current judiciary or the current Chief Justice, he has ruled simply because of his political preferences. He's taken some really weird decisions. He's completely distorted the constitution. He has rewritten it in his own way. And you don't have the time, but I could give you an entire chapter and verse on what all he's done. So one is this, and even in the past, this guy, I don't know if it was the singer Salman Ahmed or who it was, but he was talking utter nonsense because he probably doesn't know the history of his own country. Way back in the 90s, I think it was 93 if I'm not mistaken, when Nawaz Sharif's government had been dismissed, the courts, and it had been dismissed with the army's concurrence. The courts had brought back Nawaz Sharif before the army again stepped in and made both the Prime Minister and the President quit and went in for fresh elections. So it has happened in the past. This is not the first time it's happening. The problem with Pakistani politicians is that they lie a lot and they think that history starts from where they want it to start. For example, this whole, this is such a cock and bull story that Imran Khan was tortured, he was not given food to eat, he was poisoned, his food was poisoned. This is typical trying to play victim to get more sympathy on the ground. There is absolutely no evidence. It's just Imran Khan saying it, and Imran Khan is known to be a liar. He's known to, take U-turns. He's known to dissemble. He's known to do all that. So I don't take any of that seriously. None of those charges.
But those pictures when he's actually walking out of court, Sushant ji, show that he's got glasses on, he's walking with his chest up, and then he's climbing those stairs without any problems. But his leg is an issue, and he's got hurt on his head, and he's got pushed and bashed.
When he went to court, he went with that bucket around his head, and he went on a wheelchair, right? Then when he was being dragged away from the court, he was running. Right? Today he has walked into the court. He has not come on a wheelchair. If his leg was so bad, in such a bad shape, he should have come on a wheelchair. He hasn't come. So, this drama has been going on. Which wound takes 6 months? The gentleman on the show, I believe he's an army officer. I'm sure he's seen many casualties. Which of these bullet injuries take so many months for somebody to recover? It's been what?
Sushant, Anand, can I respond?
So what happens next? Let's just quickly get to that. What happens next? Yes, Major Janjua, please respond and then
Okay. Sushant, quite frankly, you are entitled to your opinion and I'm not going to ask you to change it. You will not change it. But you're talking about Chief Justice Bandeyal. So I hope you've not forgotten that this is the same Chief Justice that on the 9th of April last year, he sent Imran Khan's government packing. So when he did that, he was right, and today he's wrong when he's declared his detention illegal. What I'm trying to say here is, people can point fingers at judiciary all the times. The question here is, was this action legal or illegal? Chief Justice has just done it, and he's not still released him. He still kept him in police custody. He's going to appear with in front of the High Court tomorrow. I'll let you answer, and because I don't want to take too long, the time is precious. You talked about his injury, that which wound takes 6 months to heal. Imran Khan has not said once in the last few weeks or so that he cannot walk. He's walking, and you saw him today walking. The question is, he has healed or recovered, or in the process that his recovery has been, you can say 80-90%, maybe 95%.
Major Janjua, please, just 2 weeks ago, what they told the court, what he told the court is that he can't walk to the court. He did not adhere to the summons of the court, which asked him to be present in court, saying that I cannot walk. And then he appeared in court on a wheelchair 2 weeks back, or 10 days back. And the very next day when he was at Zama Park, he was standing and showing, and he was very comfortable. It was when he was sitting and trying to do his address to the people that his foot came up and there was a cast there. So there is a lot of play acting that has also happened, sir. You have to agree that he's also playing to the galleries. But I am asking, I am asking you what happens next.
He must be playing to the galleries.
कल वो कोर्ट आएगा कि नहीं? आपको क्या लगता है?
He will come to the court. He's in the police custody. He has no choice but to not to come to the court. He went to the court day before yesterday also. He was doing the biometrics when he was arrested.
Yeah, but after how many days did he surface in court? After how many days of being cooped up around his followers to ensure that he defies the cops, he defies everybody. Zama Park mein jo tamasha hua, that was not adherence to the law. So
Anand, it would have been ideal for Salman to answer these questions rather than me, because I'm technically not a spokesperson, but it would look like.
I agree, sir. I agree, but I'm just saying, the
government of Punjab, made 100 cases on him.
He's asked his people have stormed into the GHQ Rawalpindi. These people have stormed into a Corps commander's residence. Wahan se to more bhi chura ke le gaye. That's the level to which there is anger. That anger is being displayed on the streets. How long is the army going to sit and watch this?
Now, the army's response has come, and it is very, very clear. And neither am I, because I am an ex-army officer myself. No one is going to sit here and defend what happened yesterday at the GHQ or at the Lahore Corps Commander's house. And even the PTI leadership is not defending that. They say, we don't condone that. We don't subscribe to this. Who has done it? There will be an investigation.
Sir, this is exactly. Sir, I've run out of time, but I have to wind up. This is exactly the army's tactic. The army says from one hand they say go, the other hand they say stop. So that's exactly what the PTI is also doing, telling their supporters to go, and the other hand saying, sorry, we didn't know. But I got to wind up on that note. Thank you very, very much, Major Janjua and Sushant Sarinji. We're going to take a very, very short break. We get you the latest. What happens next in Pakistan? The details when we come back. Stay with us.
Emboldened by the release of Imran Khan, do you think that it will become incumbent on him, given what we've seen over the last 2 days, to ask his supporters to calm down and not indulge in violence and arson?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, when he addresses his supporters, as and when he addresses the nation, of course, he will likely put that message of, peace and unity and, don't attack public institutions. But even otherwise, I mean, the incentive for them to do so or indulge in violent behavior is far less now that their leader has been released. I mean, what they were so agitated about was the fact that they felt that he was illegally detained when he had come to cooperate with the investigating authorities, when he had voluntarily presented himself at the Islamabad High Court premises. Him being arrested from a court premises was almost unheard of, and they were very agitated by that fact. Now that the Supreme Court, the appellate court, the ultimate court of a constitutional court in Pakistan, has decided that they will release Imran Khan forthwith, I think definitely the PTI supporters of Mr. Imran Khan can claim vindication. There is going to be jubilation, absolutely no doubt about it. Like I said, Imran Khan will appear as some kind of political larger-than-life figure. The question is, how may the army choose to respond? Because they have to call for elections. They can't dilly-dally on that for far too long. And B, they do know that if and when elections are called, whether they are called today or 3 months or 6 months from now, Imran Khan will be, if not the single largest party, but possibly even win a majority on his own. So how do they reconcile the fact that the most popular and powerful political entity in Pakistan is at loggerheads with the most powerful institution in Pakistan?
But Zaka, speaking of this relief too, nothing really stops from the NAB from arresting Imran Khan again, because effectively what the Supreme Court has said that the manner in which you arrested him, or there was no need to arrest him there and then like that. But if there is this case ongoing with him, could he not face an arrest again?
Well, look, given the absolutely dramatic manner and nature in which the Supreme Court has come down like a ton of bricks on the NAB, on the civilian government, on even the Islamabad High Court, I doubt if he will be arrested again. Yes, there will be conditions imposed. He will have to cooperate with the authorities. And if he has to be arrested again, then demonstrably the investigating authorities, whether it's NAB or any other agency, will have to demonstrably show that he was not cooperating with the investigating authorities. And only after that would they think of arresting
Zaka,
him
just
again.
hold your thought. Asma Chaudhary is a Pakistani journalist joining us over the phone line. Asma, we believe that Imran Khan has to be released shortly. Could you give us some updates of what you're hearing?
Yes, the Supreme Court of Pakistan just ordered that the Imran Khan's arrest warrant is illegal and he can now...
Unfortunately, we've lost that link. But the reports that are coming in, Zaka, from Pakistan do tell us that the Chief Justice has also asked Imran Khan to ensure that his supporters stop the rioting and the rampage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that becomes incumbent certainly on Imran Khan, because they are doing this. I wouldn't say at his behest, but they are doing this because they are aggrieved that their leader has been arrested in the fashion that he was. But here's the thing: Imran Khan will have to cooperate with the investigating authorities. I believe he's been asked to be present before the Islamabad High Court tomorrow in the case of the Al-Qadir Trust, where him and his wife Bushra Bibi are accused of corruption to the tune of 50 billion pounds, which the NAB's case is they siphoned off and gave land to a powerful real estate tycoon, Riaz Malik. And that land was supposed to set up, was being given to him to set up a private educational institution, a university. None of that came up. So the contention of the NAB was that money was basically kickbacks given to Imran Khan, his supporters in the PTI, and his wife Bushra Bibi, who happens to be one of the trustees of the Al-Qadir Trust. Now, he has to present himself before the Islamabad High Court tomorrow. He has to cooperate with the investigating authorities, and the investigation will continue. Excuse me. What has happened today is that the Supreme Court has said there is no need to arrest anyone if he or she is presenting himself or herself before the authorities for investigation and cooperating with the authorities during the course of that investigation. I think that is a very, very clear and resounding message to the National Accountability Bureau, to the Pakistan Rangers, to the army, to the civilian government, that you can go ahead and do whatever is required legally within the remit of the law.
Back on, and soon after he got temporary relief from the Honorable Supreme Court of Pakistan, Imran Khan has told his supporters to refrain from violence. Now, when he was quizzed about the large-scale rampant violence across Pakistan, the PTI chief, through the media present in the courtroom, forwarded a message to his supporters that they should refrain from damaging public and private property. Imran Khan, on the other hand, cannot be arrested again in the premises of the court when he's coming for the hearing until the decision of the court. A 3-room guest house has been provided for him. 10 people can stay with him or meet him. What Imran Khan has said in court is, I do not want any loss in the country, nor do I wish for the people to get incited. I just want free and fair elections. This is what the PTI chief has told the court, pleading with the court that despite his responding to the National Accountability Bureau's notices or NAB's notices, he was arrested. In response to the court's question about whether he knew what was going on in Pakistan, Imran Khan, who became the first Prime Minister to be ousted from office through a no-confidence vote in April last year, said his mobile phone was taken away and he was unaware about what was happening in the country. Then the PTI chief requested the Chief Justice of Pakistan to send him home. But the top judge said that he was not going to do that and assured him that he would, quote, remain at peace at the police line's guest house, unquote. Then, quote again, you can stay there, talk, rest, and then present yourself before the Islamabad High Court on Friday. That's what the Chief Justice of Pakistan has told Imran Khan. The Chief Justice then directing authorities to allow Khan to meet as many as 10 people, including his lawyers, friends, and family members. Foreign Affairs expert Robinder Sajde with us on the phone line. What do you see happening next, Robinder Sajde? The massive drama, it's a huge political flux, but what do you see panning out through Friday?
No, thank you so much. You used a very interesting word, the drama. What we are seeing in Pakistan right now, I would say, is a Shakespearean tragedy unfolding right in front of the world, in front of the people of Pakistan, and for all of us. One. Secondly, what do we see happening up till Friday? We just don't know. There's so many twists and turns which are out there. See, the Supreme Court relief today, which was there, was only with respect to the manner of his arrest or abduction or whatever by the Pakistan Rangers, to which the Supreme Court said that, no individual can be, arrested in this manner from a court premises, be it the Supreme or the High or the Accountability Court. So that was only narrow, this thing, that the court decision. But yes, accompanying that was what you were mentioning. Imran Khan has claimed apparently that he was beaten while in custody. He's, leveled charges that he was afraid that insulin injections, which could induce a heart attack, could be, injected, and then he said he couldn't eat and all of that. So I think looking at all of that, the Supreme Court in a normal sense would have said, yeah, his personal safety and security should also be guaranteed. So therefore, let him be in the police line and allowed to meet X number of people. So that, that transparency is there. He's in custody till tomorrow morning and then at the High Court. Now, what happens in the High Court is a different matter altogether. That is the legal twists and turns. So let us see how the High Court...
See, what happens in the High Court is this: it's going to be in the same court whose Chief Justice, after questioning the kind of arrest and the damage that happened to the court premises, deemed the arrest legal, and with the NAB also told them, as they sought 14 days remand, said, I'll give you 8 days custody. So it's going to go back to that same court. That's what's going to happen. Robinder Sajeti, thank you very much. This story in Pakistan, interesting drama, bigger than the real. Real is bigger than, greater or more thrilling than the real. We're going to end Right Stand on that note. Zaka ready with brass tacks.
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks and Zaka Jacob. There is absolutely unprecedented scenes in Pakistan after the arrest of former Prime Minister Imran Khan. The Supreme Court of Pakistan today, in the most dramatic fashion, ordered his release. This is just 2 days after his arrest by the NAB, and his supporters went berserk attacking army installations, something that Pakistan has not seen in the 70 years of its existence. But Mr. Khan is not entirely free. He will be at a police guest house tonight in Islamabad. He will have to be produced before the Islamabad High Court, where he will have to join investigation in the NAB corruption case against him. But what does this mean politically and legally for Imran Khan at a time when he has thrown the gauntlet both at the federal government of Shahbaz Sharif and also, more importantly, at the all-powerful arm? There's been a dramatic 48 hours in Pakistan. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan's arrest has been declared illegal by the country's Supreme Court. Pakistan's top court criticized the National Accountability Bureau for arresting Imran Khan from the Islamabad High Court premises Tuesday. The Supreme Court said that the face that he came to court means that he was surrendering. The Supreme Court directed Imran Khan to return to the High Court tomorrow and follow the investigations. But the bottom line is that he will not be arrested in the court premises. Imran Khan will be in the custody of the Supreme Court at the police line's guest house as of right now. 10 of his supporters will be allowed to meet him, including some of his family. He was brought to the Supreme Court in a convoy of 15 vehicles amid huge security. Imran Khan alleged that he was being abducted and tortured in custody of the NAB. His arrest had sparked protests across Pakistan as supporters and PTI workers hit the streets, indulging in arson, vandalism and violence, demanding the release of their leader. Some protesters even took on Pakistan's all-powerful army, torching the residence of the Corps commander in Lahore and laying siege at the entrance of the general headquarters in Rawalpindi. So to make sense of this, both politically as well as legally, I'm joined by a very senior journalist from Pakistan, one of the most recognized, one of the most credible journalists in Pakistan. Hamid Mir of GeoTV is now joining us. Mr. Mir, thank you very much. What do you make of today's developments? The Pakistan Supreme Court saying categorically that Imran Khan's arrest was illegal, he should be released forthwith, and that no one should be arrested from the premises of a high court or a lower court. Basically, the Supreme Court of Pakistan saying rapping on the knuckles the federal government and the National Accountability Bureau. Make sense of this for us, both legally and politically.
Yes, actually, the day Imran Khan was arrested, the same day, not only myself, but many other people, including some legal experts and constitutional experts, they were of the view that the arrest of Imran Khan inside the premises of the Islamabad High Court was against the law, because he came to Islamabad High Court and he was preparing to file an application in the court, and for that purpose he was called in the record room for the biometrics, because in Islamabad High Court you cannot file a petition without biometrics. So he was a part of the legal process which was going on inside the premises of the court. So that's why the Supreme Court of Pakistan today declared that his arrest was not legal, but they ordered to release him. And Imran Khan requested the Supreme Court that he wanted to go to his home in Islamabad, which is situated in Bani Gala. But Supreme Court said that, no, you cannot go to your home. You will be the guest of the Supreme Court. And he asked the Inspector General Police of Islamabad to arrange the guest house in the police lines in Islamabad. So right now, Imran Khan is free